So angles and angle measure. We're going to start with a little bit of review from what we did last week, talking about vertical angles. Vertical angles are the opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. They're formed by intersecting lines. So for an example, if you have two lines that cross like that, the vertical lines are this one, and then these are also vertical. Vertical just means that they are across from each other and they're congruent. They're always going to be the same measure. Adjacent angles are two angles next to each other. Sometime we're going to have angles that overlap. Adjacent angles are next to each other, but they don't overlap. We're not going to see any today that overlap, but we will later this week. So adjacent angles are angles that are next to each other. So this angle right here and this angle right here, they are next to each other. They are adjacent. All right, let's create a pair of intersecting lines. So what I want you to do is draw two lines that intersect. Completely don't care how you draw them intersecting. So draw two lines that intersect. They have to actually cross each other. And then I want you to label them 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the measure of angle 1, the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 3, and the measure of angle 4. Now when we have the measure of the angle, we're looking for the actual number of degrees that angle is. Angle 1 I want to actually measure with the protractor. So what I'm going to do is right there at that vertex, I'm going to put my vertex of my protractor. So line that dot up, and then this line on my protractor needs to line up with that line that I drew. Now I'm measuring my angle 1. Your angle 1 is going to be different, but the process will be the same. So because I'm measuring in this direction, I'm going to use the outside lines, starting with the smaller numbers. You see that right there? So I'm going to start at 0, 10, and it looks like it crosses maybe right about here. So here's 40, 39, 38, so it's probably about 39 degrees. So angle 1 looks to be 39 degrees. So angle 1 looks to be about 39 degrees. So you're going to measure your angle, find out how many degrees it is. Now, if my angle 1 is 39 degrees, what does that automatically tell me? about one of my other angles. Molly?
The angle 3 is also 39 degrees.
Correct. They are vertical angles, so angle 3 is also going to be 39 degrees. Now, without using my protractor, how could I figure out what angle 2 and 4 are? Here's a hint. We talked about it during the problem of the day, that third one. How could I figure out what angle 2 is? Molly?
Since it's like 180 degrees, is like the full arc, or the full like straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And you could like not add.
So we know that that straight line, right, that highlighted line is 180 degrees. I know that that is 39 degrees, so I need to figure out what the rest of that's going to be.
So you can subtract the 180 minus 39.
Yeah, if I take my 39 degrees and I add it to whatever that is, altogether it's going to be 180 degrees. So to figure out that missing angle, I could just subtract 39. So x is going to equal 180 minus 39. Now your numbers are going to look a little bit different, but your process should be the same. So for my example, these two angles, these two adjacent angles add up to 180 degrees. Does anyone know what it's called, two angles that add together to 180 degrees? It's got a special geometry name. That name is supplementary. Supplementary angles are two angles that add to 180 degrees. So if you have a straight line and another line, these two adjacent angles add together to be 180 degrees. Those are supplementary angles, which is really closely tied to complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles that add to 90 degrees. So it's pretty much the same, except for instead of 180, it's actually going to be 90. And 90 degrees is like this. A lot of times when you see 90 degrees, there's a little square in the corner. That little square in the corner means it's 90 degrees. And complementary means that this angle plus this angle is 90 degrees. Yes, sir?
I'm a little bit confused with the 39 and 181. are 141 and 1 and 3 are 39.
Mm-hmm.
How would you do
You're saying all of these together? Yeah, all of these together is going to be 365 because it'll make a circle. A straight line is 180, so this plus this would be 180, which would be half of a circle. This and this is 180, this and this is 180. Supplementary and complementary are kind of tough to remember which one is which. Supplementary is 180, complementary is 90. Somebody in an earlier class said complementary is like if, what did they say? They said, so if somebody gives out complimentary shirts or somebody gives out complimentary snacks, they're free for you to take. So what you might want to do is stand up and grab them. So the right angle right there is like somebody standing up. Someone said it's like if you receive a compliment, it makes you want to stand up tall. It makes you want to sit up straight. Feel good about yourself. So when you receive a compliment, it kind of puts you at a right angle. Someone said that compliment is like a C. This kind of, sort of looks like a C. And then supplementary, somebody said they take their supplements before bed. And this is like laying down 180 degrees. So they take their supplements, so like their vitamins and stuff like that, right there before bedtime. However you want to remember that, but you are going to see things like two complementary angles. One angle is 35 degrees. What's the other angle? You have to be able to know that together they're 90 degrees. All right, I'm going to draw two adjacent angles. So I'm going to draw a straight line, I hope. So here's a straight line. Make a little mark there. And I'm going to make this 40 degrees. So right about there. And I'm going to label each of our points. I'm going to go E, F, G, and then H. So go right around there in a circle. And the problem that I'm going to give you is this. This angle is 2x, and this angle is 40 degrees. Angle E, H, F, and angle F, H, G are supplementary. So I'll color code those a little bit. So angle EHF, so E to H to F, that's that angle. And angle FHG, so F to H to G, are supplementary. Supplementary means that they add up to 180 degrees. So angle EHF is 2x. FHG is 40 degrees. And they're supplementary, so they add together to equal 180 degrees. We have to solve for that variable. We have to isolate x, get x by itself. So now we're building on what we did a few weeks ago when we were looking at algebraic expressions and algebraic equations, where we had to solve for variables. So in order to get this by itself, I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. So then 2x equals, I got 180 minus 40, which gives us 140. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals 140 divided by 2, 70. So in this case, the value of x is 70. This measure is not 70, x is 70. So to find out the measure, it'll be 2 times x. So the actual measure of angle is 140.